Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for sparing your time and agreeing for coming to come on my platform. So welcome to Lit Shaper. So we
Sure.
will be starting with your career journey, that how exactly you started your career, right?
Okay.
And right now you are into content writing. So what exactly made you to decide this career? So over to you. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Rajni. I'm sorry for so many delays that I've been
From
making, just because I've got caught up with some personal work and, of course, the professional work. So, talking about my journey, I would like to start with my qualification. So my qualification can be, linked with what I am doing today. So my highest qualification is MCA, Masters of Computer Application. So as a typical, computer science graduate, I wanted to be in a multinational company doing coding and everything. What is expected from a MCA. So I did start with the same. I started as an associate software engineer with a company in Dehradun. I completed my MCA from Dehradun itself, from Graphic Era University. So I happened to got placed in one of the companies in Dehradun. Due to family issues, I did not go out of my small town, my small valley. So, but that job helped me to reach where I am today, because the company that I started with was it was in initial phases of their own journey on their establishment. So when you get to go with the startup, you learn many things. You have to wear so many caps, and plus, most important thing is the attitude that you carry with you when you work for a startup. Just because you've been hired as a software engineer uh, doesn't have to bound you to do coding only, right? If they ask you to prepare a document, that doesn't mean that you will not do it, right? Because it's a company that's relying on you, and if you're good at it, if the company feels that you're good at it, so that's how my career journey started, from a software engineer to a content strategist, what I am today. So I started as a software engineer. Did some app. I created some application, developed some application on .NET platform. I was learning all those things. When in between, I think it hardly after 2 or 3 months, the senior management realized that I'm good at writing things and understanding the business, how the things are flowing. So because in coding as well, we need to introduce some of the business logics. So for that purpose, they asked me that whether am I comfortable with talking to clients about their business requirement, whether am I be able to get some projects for them, if because the team was very small. It was around 10 people at that time when I joined. So I said, yeah, of course, I would like to try. It's a new career for me. I'm just a fresh graduate, so I can't say no to that. So that's how I started. And within a span of around 4 years that I spent with that company, 4 or 5 years, I did almost everything. I wrote the email for the new client. I gave demos for the software that we have been, the development team have been making. Then when they started with the new ventures, I've been there as a front face for talking to people, convincing. So a lot of things happened, and it was challenging, and it was a fresh blood. So we were like very excited. Yes, we got one lead. Oh, we cracked that deal, and we got the client and everything. So it was fun time, exciting time, challenging time. And there my talent as a writer was getting polished. So in the beginning it was like, because when I started writing for the software company for things, the the digital marketing arena was not that big. People were not after, Google search was there, but the businesses were not in that space where they wanted everything to be on LinkedIn and connecting with everybody. So I was from that era. I'm an 80s born person, so I was in that era when nobody was very bothered about, you must have a LinkedIn profile and everything. So most of the deals that we used to do were on the telephone, cold calls, cold emails, and everything. So, but at that time, I learned, I made mistakes, I re did them and everything. Um, so by that this I'm talking about by till 2016. So in 2016, I had my son. So naturally, being a new mother, I had to take a break. So when I took a break, I was very actively a participant of a marketing, on a marketing side. So it was really difficult. Somehow it was also little difficult for me to understand, to break the journey and then to get into the different phase of the life. But of course, motherhood is comes with its own pleasure and its own emotions and everything. So I never felt that I left my job and I had a good prospect in my future. So I carried on with my life, and it took me around 1.5 year to get back into that mindset of getting back into the career stream. And that too with the big support of my husband. He actually really pushed me. I got very comfortable with having a child and doing everything for him, taking him on the long walks and everything. But then he is also from IT, so he understood that once the career breaks, it might get difficult for you to get back into the stream. So then I took it seriously, and then I thought we started thinking what can be done and everything. So going back to the coding was not an option, because I've been delayed for that for around 5 to 6 years now, because I left coding in first year of my career. So getting into that core software development and IT was it was little difficult. So because I did content writing, so I said I can write for the businesses, because I had learned from the startup how to understand the requirements. So I can write for the businesses, and if somebody is ready to give me those documents or emails or something like this small work. So there, that's how I started with all the research. That's I have done all the research on Google. What all career prospects are there? Do actually company give you these kind of work? So I came across these platforms like Upwork, freelancer, and there were so many at that time. Then there was a lady in my family. She was a journalist, but then she left her journalism for this freelancing content writing job. So I took advice from her as well. She said go and get your profile up on freelancer. So that was the basic, at that time when you wanted to start as a freelancer, as freelancing as a career. So you have to be get attached to those kind of a platforms at that time. I'm talking about this is a time in 2017, 18, 2018 to be precise. So but they were very, it was challenging, because a freelancer as a platform, it needs you to acquire certain kind of skills. It needs you to upgrade your credits and to bring to make to build your trust over that platform. So of course it is going to take some time. So I realized that. So I said, okay, this can go side by side, but let me try another avenues as well. So I went on Facebook. I joined some group on LinkedIn. So anywhere I can, have anything, I can have it. Started grabbing that. And lucky enough for me, I landed it with two different organizations. One was from UK. So at that time I was in UK only when I was doing all this research. So I landed up with some. There was a person he was an Indian, but he was established in UK. So he was also looking for some freelance content writer. And there was another lady from India, from Gujarat. She is into freelance content. So she was also looking for a writer who can write for the product based companies like rainwater harvesting products and everything. So there, what I'm trying to say is that I was looking for something that can be related to business, but I was getting the offers from these kind of things, from writing for a harvesting company, or writing for a business which is getting started with this goggles eyewears business. So but the only thing I wanted to do was to write, to get into that stream. So I took whatever I can. The another thing I did side by side was to maintain my own blog. Maintaining your own blog is not easy, uh, especially today, because you have to look for so many things like SEO and everything else. But at that time, I was least concerned about getting it on a high rank. It was more like my personal diary. Instead of writing over the pen and paper, I used to write on that blog. So I, till the time, I don't have too many followers for that blog, but I still like to keep that blog up and running, and the domain is still active, so everything goes good. But that gave me a little bit of confidence, or whenever I used to pitch for my work. So that blog helped me, help my clients, prospects, to understand what kind of writing I can do, and whether it suits them. And of course, everybody, when you do freelancing, they ask you for a sample and everything. So that was a regular time period. So I did all these things. I had so many projects, and I get attached with someone of another digital marketing company. Digital marketing was very new at that time, not very new, but yes, people were still trying to establish that thing. So I got established with that, and that company helped me to understand the technique behind this writing. So I learned SEO. I learned how to use Grammarly for what kind of tools we have, and then everything else. So I did this from 2018 till 2020. So 2020, as everybody knows, is a time when world stopped with everything. So I also naturally I had to stop, because mine was freelancing career, right? And businesses were facing all the losses, so nobody was able to give you anything as far as the business is concerned. So I tried. I thought that okay, the medical things and everything is into this, but it didn't work. I tried writing for medical part also, but I couldn't do justice, to be honest, because I'm not from the background. So that time, my husband again, he came in in the picture again, and so he's like more of a savior, right? He let me do things. He let me experiment with the things, and then suddenly he comes like an angel guardian, and then he says, "Okay, wait, let me tell you what to do." So he said, "Just you can stop running after these assignments, because it is taking you a lot of time to complete them, because you have to wait, you have to take care of a child, you have to take care of the home, because it's a COVID time, you're not getting any help from outside. Plus you are hampering your own health. You are sleeping at 3 in the night and getting up early, then so these kind of things, because my son had his online classes were going on, so I have to sit throughout his classes and everything." So he said, let's do something else. You try to do some certifications, because this era is a time of certification. Especially COVID helped people to get, online education became a little new normal during COVID. So based on his, help and everything, I enrolled myself in digital marketing. Earlier, I was going for a data science course with upgrad. So I was thinking to get into IT and data science field, and I made up my mind, okay, let me get into core IT now, and let's go with it. But the problem with that, the grad people called me and explained me what all syllabus will be there. Uh, so that made me think that whether am I ready for that kind of, I'll not say labor, I can do the labor and everything and hard work, but will it worth it? Reason being, I was still not in a zone to go out and work on a 9 to 5 basis. And plus, in IT, you don't have 9 to 5. You have extended hours when you come back home, especially if you have foreign clients, US clients. So that made me think whether I'll be able to cope up with that. So I was almost, I made up my mind that I'll enroll for data science course. So there, why I'm sharing that is that sometimes in the flow, as a FOMO, we say, or data science is still, it's a hot topic these days. So it was like, okay, I'm from MCA, I can do it. That's not a big deal. But then you have to sit back, relax, and understand all your perspectives. So there I had to take a step back, and I said, no, I'm not ready for that, because if I did this, I have to take a job in this field, and then I have to struggle a lot. I'm not scared about struggling, but it's not worth it. It may again take me around 5 to 6 years to establish myself as a data science engineer, right? I have to start from the scratch because I have no experience in that. And plus, looking at my age, it's not worth it, to be honest, right? So I'll put everybody in pressure, I'll put myself in pressure. So I said, okay, let's continue what am I'm doing right now. And we all are fan of social media, and especially the Zomato, how Zomato is writing, right? Everything and all these things. So we've seen all their posts, and we feel like we can also do it, right? So like Zomato's, I love Zomato's content writer who is making those posts for them. So that made me think, why don't I do something which is related to my field, what I'm doing as a freelancer. So there I decided to go with a digital marketing course because I have been doing these things in a scattered form. Like I did SEO, I did content writing, of course. I have followed the instructions from the digital marketing companies how to create a copy and everything. But that was definitely, it was a practical experience. But as the times are changing, there are different things happening in the world around this field in the digital marketing. So I had to get into that technicalities. So I went with this course with upgrad, and they given me the certification from Mica, and that helped me. How did it help me? Was first of all, it made my schedule, because learning, when you say I can learn online, I can learn from YouTube videos. Of course you can, but there's a vast syllabus to learn. What is for you, what attracts you, what inspires you, have to be in a structured manner. So when I went for the upgrad course, they had these modules kind of thing. So I knew, okay, I have to do this. Then they say, okay, there was one part called this marketing analysis, analysis. I was not very keen about it. So during that structural understanding, I got to understand that this is not for me. I'm good at writing. I'll do that specialization, and I'm good at writing for communication business. So I'll do that. So I took those two specializations and I went for it. And lucky enough for me, because as soon as I put up my this upgrad certification, I received so many requests, so many connection requests from good companies and startups and everybody. So again, I started doing whatever I could. I started with low. I did not care at that time. To be honest, I did not care about the package. I was writing. I was doing a lot of writing as a freelancer. I may have written around 300, 400 articles. All of them are ghost written, of course. But I knew that whatever I have to start from scratch. If people say that, we can only give you the content writer one, I did not press hard, to be honest. No, 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 I'm writing for 9 years. You must consider. Because again, like me, those businesses are also evolving, especially the startups, right? So startups, they are looking for people who are enthusiastic, who are ready to learn, and whatever they have learned, have a right attitude to put it across. So that's what I wanted to go with. Plus, if that company is, if you land up with a company which is very motivating, like I am right now like I am in Anuyat right now. Anuyat is a Pune-based company, and they work for building the SaaS-based products, especially for the eSIM industry. So they are into eSIM mobile applications. Plus, they are also working on building MVPs, minimum viable products. It's a 4-year-old company. I would not say it's a little, it's a startup, but still, it's in the initial phases. So, with my kind of experience and with my kind of work and what I want to establish, and I started my, I'll say I have just started my full time career again. It's a beginning for me. So, landing up with such a company was actually a privilege for me, and it was a good luck too. Decided to go with it. Initially, I started as a content writer only with them, but since I was the only technical content writer, yes, and I missed that part that I liked doing technical content writing only because it involves the business sense in it, rather than, I can write for other topics as well, but being an MCA, I think I could use my education, my qualification better when I write for the technical stuff, and it keeps me in race with the trending technologies and trends in IT. So that's two things. I'm getting best of both the worlds: content writing plus the IT field. So I would like to end it here because I can go on and on with that. So yeah, so that's how I'm content strategist, because they wanted me to take control of what goes up, what can be done to how how rightly we can portray our company services and everything. So gradually, it's been 9 months now, almost 9 months. So from content writer, I started as a contract on a contract basis. Now I'm working as a full time with them and into content strategist.
That is that is really, a lot of ups and downs and
Yeah,
gap, and then, finding something here and there. So yeah, it's like really roller coaster, right? So
it
it
was.
was really nice. If I ask you to, describe your career journey in one line, so how will exactly you will describe that?
Um, First of all, I'll only describe it as being lucky, because in the initial stages and still, I am getting connected with good people only. So I'll definitely define my career journey so far to be a luckiest one in this lot. I didn't get too many setbacks, to be honest. But whatever I got, I tried learning. I only learned from those setbacks. So yeah, so that's how. And right now it's so and another line, if I may add, it's a new beginning for me, because I've just started with a full time again, and get into those every day. You have to log in and you get a salary slip and everything like that.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
yeah, so that's a new journey for me. So I'm just a new beginner again, just like anybody else. I may be doing this for so long, but yeah, again, it's a new journey for me.
Okay,
So
and one message for the youth or anybody who wants to come into your field.
um, with my personal experience, I must say, do not hesitate to go beyond your you know whatever you have thought of, that I'll be doing this. But if something comes up, try exploring it. It may not work, but you will definitely learn. And this is not for just this field, this is for life also, right? So you learn from your mistakes is a basic thing that we have. But when I say, especially for the freelancers out there, I must say, do not restrict yourself to say that, okay, I will only write. Don't ask me to research this, okay? Or just an example. Or do not ask me to talk to client. Like, for example, this third party in between you and the client, and they have asked you, can you come on the call, with that client? So you say, I'm just a writer. I don't want to talk to client. You talk. You tell me what to write, right? I never did that, to be honest, because that's where your learning will stop, right? So that's one thing. So do not restrict yourself, especially in the first few stages when you're actually getting into this. Let the things happen. Let go with the flow, and then when you come up with something solid, then when you're in a position to decide something good for yourself and what's not working for you, what should be changed, then of course you have more options.